I'm counting on you boys.
Yes, sir.
What position would you like to start in for the first run?
Chase, if you don't mind. Starting from behind would be a nice change of pace.
That'll work. Hey, Fujiwara, you'll be leading the first run.
Joshima, nice to meet you, son.
Takumi, it's nice to meet you too, sir.
Mind if I ask you a question?
Shoot.
I was just wondering why at such a young age a kid like you would choose to drive an 8.6. It may not seem like much to you, but it's of great interest to me.
Sorry to disappoint you, but it wasn't my decision to drive the 8.6 in the first place. It used to be my father's.
Your father's, huh?
Yeah, she's been in the family for almost as long as I can remember. And since she was all that we had, she's what I ended up driving.
Oh.
I guess I've gotten kind of attached to her. I was driving this baby way before I even had my license.
How interesting. Then I guess you must have learned everything you know about driving from your father. I assume he taught you.
Well, I guess you could put it like that.
I certainly wouldn't mind meeting your father one of these days. I have a feeling he and I would get along pretty well. Of course, that doesn't mean I'll be taking it easy on you.
I hope you don't, sir.
Ryosuke, we're ready to roll off the line anytime.
Good to know. I want you to listen to me carefully, Takumi.
Yeah?
I'm gonna be straight with you. The guy you're going up against is far and away the best you've ever faced. Not a chink in his armor. I only have one piece of advice for you before you roll off. Tough it out. You might not think you can win, but stick to your guns and you might actually pull this off. I'll be able to say more later, but for now I want you to concentrate on the road and not your opponent. Remember, you're not racing a man, you're racing a ghost.
Huh?
Don't forget that. Start him up for me, hero.
You got it. Here we go, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2,
A ghost, huh?
1, go!
Right, I hear you. Okay, they started the first run of the downhill a minute ago.
It's all up to you now. Time to earn the name Godarm. You gotta put it all into this one. Everything that made you a legend.
Hey, Keisuke.
Yeah?
Do you think Takumi's gonna be okay out there?
Sweating about it sure isn't gonna help. This is his race. We gotta let him run it.
Chief told me something. Said everything that makes Joshima such a racing legend is his steering technique, which is pretty damn impressive. The unique thing about him is that he leaves his left hand on the shifter and uses only his right hand to steer. I don't know about you, but I've never heard of anybody who can do that.
Yeah, but I don't understand. What's the purpose of it? I'd feel all kinds of weird if I had to steer without holding the wheel with both hands. Wait a sec. If the guy's only using one hand to steer with, then he's gonna run into corners on the mountain where he won't be able to spin the wheel enough to turn the car. The past is full of places like that. That's the whole point of these kind of races.
That's why the guy's nickname is Godarm. He's called the sorcerer of the steering wheel for a good freaking reason.
This guy's incredibly freaking fast.
Just like I figured. This kid's pretty good.
That's it. He's gotta be drifting. I know it's a difficult technique to master, but with the minimal steering of a zero-counter drift, he could pull it off.
He probably could, but Joshima doesn't do any drifting maneuvers at all. He's got a different style altogether. It's somewhere between drifting and gripping.
Wait, he splits between drifting and gripping? You mean it isn't either one of them?
All of you seem to think Joshima's one-handed steering technique is a weird thing to do. But it makes a hell of a lot more sense than you might think it does. You just need to know how little you gotta steer in order to turn the car. And after 20 years of solid practice, Joshima's got it just about perfected. He had to put a lot of thought into this. He didn't get to where he is just by winging it. This was all careful planning. He'll swear up and down that what he's doing out there isn't drift or grip, but something else. But if you're asking me, I say what the guy's doing is the ideal drift.
The best high-level techniques are the ones you can do when your opponent's not expecting it. Tires are always at their best when they have the G's pushing down on them, and when they're on the verge of skidding and the pressure is perfect, it makes the car sail like it's on the wind.
Right.
My guess is the guy's letting his tires skid a little, just enough that it's almost imperceptible. It's only a theory, but it's the only way I can wrap my head around it.
All right. I probably couldn't do it myself, but if there's a mix of drift and grip, that'd be it.
Chief knows all about it. The Toto School and Purple Shadow have been rivals for a long time. Not a lot of secrets anymore. We've gone head-to-head with their younger members at circuits, street gatherings, wherever, you name it, and we've been there and raced them hard. But the elite from the Purple Shadow going for broke on the street? We missed the opportunity to see this. We may never get the chance to see it again in our lifetimes. Know what I think Chief was really trying to tell us? Watch those guys like a hawk. Keep your eyes on every single thing that God-Arm Joshima and Godfoot Hoshino do.
So, Fumihiro, question. You remember a guy called Shingo Shoji who raced for the Night Kids? He was the one with the penchant for gum-tape death matches.
Shoji. Yeah, I do. He was the guy who would tape his right hand to the steering wheel. Crazy.
In those races, only a steering wheel with a limited range is allowed. It's part of the challenge. That way, you turn by using your accelerator. It's tough, but I'm willing to bet that Joshima's signature one-handed steering technique probably has its roots in the same theory as gum-tape death matches. The two techniques may even be one and the same, only Joshima's version is more complete, more refined.
But I don't get it. I mean, what's the point of it aside from letting your left hand concentrate on the shift work, which really doesn't seem all that important?
If you want the real answer to that question, then I suppose you're gonna have to ask Joshima himself. I'm not saying it's not unusual, it is. And it probably wouldn't benefit most racers. But one of the top drivers in the WRC used to utilize the same technique, and he was the best in his class.
Something about this race feels so familiar. I know this kind of pressure. The kind that sticks to every turn I make. It's like my dad's back there in the Impreza breathing down my neck.
Can I tell you who's gonna win it?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be easy. It isn't like this thing is gonna wrap up in just a run or two.
You don't think?
It's not a long course, but all the hooks and corners make it tough, and there aren't many straight shots to catch a good rhythm. This is gonna turn into a long battle whether they want it to or not. But if it was over fast, and don't get me wrong, Kenta, I'm putting a truckload of stress on the word if here, then Takumi would probably lose. Don't get hysterical. All I'm saying is that Takumi's best bet at a win is dragging this out as long as he can. I just hope he realizes that. The other guy's gonna be leading on the next run. That's the one that'll be key to the win. So if Fujiwara can just keep his act together for a little while longer, he'll give himself the long race he needs to snag the victory. When you've been in as many battles as I have, you start to develop a sixth sense for these kinds of things. No matter how vicious this battle looks to the rest of us, all those two are doing out there is trading a couple light jabs.
Holy damn! This is freaking incredible! I never thought I'd see Joshima racing against Project D's 8.6.
You ever seen something slide that fast around a curve before? Man, seeing these two mammoths try to knock each other down is killer.
First run's almost over. Damn it, that pressure. It's been breaking me down this whole time and I can't shake it.
Perfect. I got to watch your every move on this first run.
They're here! Dude, check it out. They're practically on top of each other.
On my count! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
I guess that must be the start of the second run.
Sounds like it.
This second round's gonna be the most important one. But isn't Takumi gonna be chasing? Maybe that's a good thing. He's better than anyone when he's behind. He gets so persistent when he thinks he's gonna lose. That guy's never let anybody he's chasing get away from him. I can't believe there are actually people who don't think Takumi's gonna be able to keep up. Whatever, man. Or is this guy who's racing actually that good?
The S2000 is a crazy hard vehicle to master, but its specs are all high-end. I mean freaking perfect. And I remember the chief telling me one time that when it corners, it's even faster than the NSX. So if you put a seasoned driver like Joshima behind the wheel of that bad boy, there's no reason on planet Earth it should ever lose to an 8.6.
Do you really think so?
Without doing anything special, just by driving as normally as he would any other day, Hoshino will fly around this course faster than the 8.6 can keep up with. It wouldn't even matter if the 8.6 had some badass turbo under the hood. This'll be a bloodbath. I mean, I'm no expert, but that's what I'm thinking this second run will look like. But still, what's normal in this situation isn't exactly what's normal in any conventional sense. No. With two crazy drivers like these, who knows what to expect?
Yeah, especially the driver of the 8.6. He's a weird one. He's got this raw, natural talent, but only those who drive against him can feel it. More than anything, Fujiwara fits that 8.6 like a glove, always has. It's like he was born to drive it, or it was built for him, but either way, they're perfection.
It might be an NA. The F-20 type engine cranks out 120 pounds of horsepower per liter. It's got the VTEC unit, which puts even the latest models to shame and makes the 8.6 look like a waste of metal. That's easily the biggest threat to Fujiwara. But the true value of the S2000 lies in its unique handling ability. You see, the engine that's mounted in the front mid position realizes the ideal 50-50 weight distribution. The car also has an X-bone frame with high body integrity. After a few minutes behind the wheel, you'll forget you're driving a roadster. Plus, she sits on top of a lightweight and compact in-wheel double wishbone suspension system. Her potential was installed using orthodox methods and not with electronic gadgets. They didn't use any of the modern technological methods used so often in auto construction today. This is a classic piece of machinery. All the turbos and four-wheel drives in the world mean nothing to her. Out on that course, she owns everything. But one thing most everyone agrees on is that in the end, the car selects its driver.
What you're saying is that it takes an enormous amount of skill to even come close to mastering a vehicle like that.
Knowing that car's limits would be a godsend. Only a select handful of the most skilled and talented drivers in the world will ever have the privilege of understanding that vehicle.
And Joshima God-armed Toshiya is without a doubt one of those drivers. Fujiwara is out there burning track with an absolute beast of an opponent.
This second run's really turning into something intriguing. I know Joshima pretty well, and I got a good idea what kind of scheme he's cooked up for this kid.
So you're saying it's a scheme. But if Joshima's in front, all he has to do is outrun the guy. Why doesn't he just stick to doing that and end it now?
You don't get it. Trust me, the guy's a lot more screwed up than you realize. He's usually all calm and collected, but put him up against an opponent with a little skill and he slips into some bad habits.
Huh.
If he just wanted to say screw it all and go for broke on his home course, he could easily outdistance any opponent in no time. He knows every inch of this course like the back of his hand. There's not a pro who could come up to our turf and beat us.
This is killing me. I don't have anything left to give.
I only say this for the sake of Joshima's reputation, but if the winner isn't decided by the end of the second run of this battle, then I think he might be trying to engineer this whole night so that he wins while chasing. That's kind of the way he is sometimes.
No way. What? I'd have thought a doctor'd know better than to try something as dumb as that. Passing the 8.6 on a course with no straightaways, what the hell? Does he have a death wish?
Maybe, but that's exactly what he's planning on doing. I'm telling you, he's got issues.
I didn't notice this when I was leading earlier, but he's running different lines. I thought I already found the best line to follow, and he's not anywhere close. The timing he uses for sticking to the inside is always earlier or later than I would have used. It's the opposite of everything I've been taught. But is that the right thing to do on this course? If it's not, then how the hell is he getting that kind of speed?
You know, Ryosuke, I keep thinking about what you told Takumi before he started tonight.
I'll be able to say more later, but for now I want you to concentrate on the road and not your opponent. You're not racing a man, you're racing a ghost.
Takumi's greatest weapon might be his ability to absorb the skills of his opponents as he's following them, but what you said to him doesn't make any sense. What did you mean when you called Joshima a ghost?
I don't get any of this. How can he stay on those screwed up lines and still be so fast?
Can you feel the heartbeat?